Hi everyone, it's Heather and I'm back with another video. This video I'm going to be talking about Disney's second full-length animated feature, which is Pinocchio. So this film for me, it feels more like a series of events rather than a fully fleshed out movie. I feel like a lot of the ideas are good, but it does seem a little less polished than Snow White. And I feel like that because it kind of just moves throughout the video. It doesn't ever come back to any of the real themes. Like it goes from like a couple characters on another character and then some other characters and then it's over and then it's back to the beginning and then that's it. So, couple things to talk about. Pinocchio the character, I do feel a little bad for him honestly, because he just kind of he just has sentience. Like he's just granted sentience. The blue fairy, she shows up in the middle of the night, and that's who I'm going to be drawing today. But the blue fairy, she shows up in the middle of the night, she grants him sentience, and then Geppetto just throws him out of the door the next morning and just expects him to get to school, like on his own. Like it had been like a few hours since he has awareness now. He was just like a wooden puppet he's just a wooden puppet, he's just an object before. So now all of a sudden he's expected to know where things are, expected like how to like converse with people, and it skips a lot really. So I feel like maybe he could have just, walk him to show him the way at least, and this is what you do, this is what you go to school. But I guess maybe he wouldn't learn and there would be no plot, or there'd be no I guess it wouldn't have worked out for, like, he wouldn't have learned anything, I suppose. So also I feel like the part where, so everyone knows that the story of Pinocchio, he's like he's a puppet, he's granted, and then he can move around, but he's still a puppet, he's not a real boy yet. And then he has to learn, good right from wrong, and if he lies, then his nose grows. And I feel like that scene where his nose grows, I always thought that was way more in the movie, and it was only like a couple minute long scene, and that was it. And then that was like the biggest thing, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe I just saw like clips from it way more often as a child. I don't know. I'm not sure. I also didn't realize how many scenes there were showing the male characters attracted to feminine typed objects and creatures, I guess. Was one way to read that. Jiminy Cricket is he's kind of a horn dog. He's shown at the beginning. He's like into like the little clock girl that comes out of like the clock, and then the fish near the end comes out, and he's attracted to anyone that has like feminine features. And so I thought that was kind of funny, honestly. I also completely forgot about the whole underwater scene as a whole. I feel like it kind of seems like a little bit of filler because it goes on for a really long time. I didn't time it or anything, but it just goes on for a long time, and they're just just yelling "Father, Father" over and over again. The monster scene itself also lasts for a long time. I feel like the water scene and the monster scene was probably half the film or something like that. And I think this movie is an hour and a half long, if I remember the runtime. So I don't know, maybe it wasn't a full half, but it seems like it lasted a long time. I kind of also want to know how, as a whole, how did Geppetto even end up in a huge giant whale at the end? Why was he on a boat? And why was he looking in the ocean for Pinocchio, I guess? A lot of this film has a lot of questions. I have more questions now as an adult watching this than I did as a child. I guess watching this as a child, I just kind of accepted oh, okay, it's fantasy. I mean, I accept that it's fantasy now too, but I have more questions now, and there isn't really much explained. Maybe that's why I don't remember a lot of the scenes as much, because I maybe only watched this a couple times as a child, and then now I haven't seen it in probably close to 30 years at this point. So all the Disney films had been, a lot of them had, they came into the vault. They use that term, but it's I don't know, we had a lot of the VHSs, so we had a lot of them when they came out on VHS, and we just went to the store and got them. And I was kind of like raised on like watching TV and stuff like that, so you know, I just feel like it doesn't explain like a whole lot. Maybe there's like parts they cut out or something, but I feel like the pacing is kind of weird in it in general. But you know, it's fine. It's like I think the art itself is always fantastic. Animation is great. The voice acting is great. It's just like character-wise, I think it's kind of weird. I do like the villains, I guess, in the show. I like Honest John. I think is pretty funny, and the other villains are a lot creepier. But you know, it's not a bad film. It is definitely worth watching again. And alright, and that's all I have to say about that. Thanks to everyone for watching. See you on the next one. Bye! Thank you, as always, to my patrons, Andrew Linjo, Ben Wright Human, Brandon Tinge, Colin Warmbrot, Council of Geeks, Dark Leap Master, Hexapus Inc., Jack Mahanteni, Jesse Durona, Merrick Bennett, Story Comic, and as always, a very special thank you to my $10 patrons, Corbin Koval and Steve Zarzinski.